In Louisiana, a man is arrested after a decomposing body is found in a Baton Rouge apartment.
Nice.
In Maryland, a man is convicted in the stabbing death of another after a victim asked for gas money. And in Indiana, a man is sentenced to 145 years in prison. These stories and more are coming at you today, Thursday, August 8th on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Whitey Overton. Thursday.
Yep.
Again. Well, it's hot.
It is hot.
You need to drink icy cold beverages when it's hot, right?
It's stupid hot here in South Louisiana, probably all over the country. I ain't really looked at the up north stuff, but
well,
seems like it's a little heat wave going on.
It's definitely going on in the dog days of summer, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it, Indian summer or it's just hot.
Hot as hell.
Hot
as hell summer.
James Brown said, hot, too hot, burn my skin.
Full of water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah.
All right, well, y'all, let's get down to some true crime time for Thursday.
All right, we're going to start off in Baton Rouge, and a man named Alan Coons has been arrested and charged with the murder of a 66-year-old man. This took place on July 24th of 2024. He was not arrested, however, till July 29th for the second-degree murder for the stabbing death of Michael Kimbrell. Baton Rouge police say officers responded to an apartment complex at 675 Wooddale Boulevard in Baton Rouge for a call of an unresponsive male. Upon arrival, officers found Kimbrell's body on the floor of the bedroom, and according to the arresting documents, Kimbrell's body was in advanced stages of decomposition. An autopsy performed on July 25th revealed that Kimbrell died from multiple stab wounds, and the autopsy determined, obviously, his cause of death to be a homicide. Officers learned that on July 20th, Kimbrell and Coons got into an argument at the apartment where Kimbrell's body was found. And during that incident, witnesses told officers that Coons had allegedly beaten on the door and said he was not going to hurt Kimbrell. In the argument, officers say Coons allegedly tried to get a knife to harm Kimbrell. So he was trying to trick him.
Right.
On July 21st, BRPD said Coons was found unconscious next to his 2007 Ford Taurus. EMS transported him to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital, and his vehicle was towed. BRPD later obtained a search warrant for that vehicle and found a knife covered in blood and hair. A cell phone believed to belong to Michael Kimbrell also was found in that car, and it had blood transfer on it as well as a shirt covered in blood.
Jesus.
Alan Coons is currently in the EBR Parish Prison facing a charge of murder.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence there too.
Not going to go away.
No, and he's got blood all over the place.
It's not too smart.
T-shirts, hair. He's got the dang murder weapon
the knife,
in his car.
Blood and hair and shirts and
Ain't getting out of this one.
And blood.
Beating on the door, saying,
"Yeah,
I'm not going to hurt you." And people seeing you with a knife.
And he got a knife. Well, there goes another dummy to prison.
You got that right.
I hate that for that dude. Wooddale Boulevard. I used to drive that every day on my way to state police headquarters.
Yeah.
All those years. Yeah. I know, pretty much know where those apartments are. I think it's only one. That's right across Florida going towards Greenville Springs.
Yep.
The big thing on the right. The rest of that's an industrial area. But anyway, it's crazy. It happens, right? Well, I'll tell you about Indianapolis, man. And he's been ordered to spend 145 years in prison. In the fatal shootings of 3 adults and a 7-year-old girl. You know why? Because he got in an argument with his former girlfriend over her federal COVID-19 relief money. I remember all those checks go out. I mean, that's a one time I probably could have used some government assistance and I didn't get it. But he did this. So Malik Halfars, 28, was sentenced Friday, and he pleaded guilty in June to 4 counts of murder and a single count of attempted murder in the March 2021 shootings. How Fars's ex-girlfriend was shot and wounded. The bodies of her 7-year-old daughter, her mother, brother, and a male cousin were found inside the home. And he and the ex-girlfriend share a daughter who was 6 months old at the time of the shootings, but that child was not hurt, thankfully. Prosecutors have said that he and the woman argued over the stimulus money she had received prior to the shootings, and he killed them all. That's it.
Don't take much.
I don't understand.
Apparently, for this guy,
capacity you have to be in. Kill 4 people, and over what was it, like a $1,500 check or something? I don't remember what they were.
I think so, somewhere around there.
That's not even $500 a body.
Yeah,
it's stupid. 145 years. Well, I'm sure he'll die in prison. It's a death sentence. But
yeah,
pled guilty to life. Plus,
well, and he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're going to go to. We're going to go to a 22-year-old man who faces 43 years in prison after recently being convicted of stabbing a driver dozens of times over money. A jury found that Marvin Martinez was guilty on July 26 of the second-degree murder of Marco Castro, as well as the wear and carry of a dangerous weapon with intent to injure, and he's set to be sentenced in October. In the early morning hours of October 29, 2023, patrol officers responded to a report of a person armed with a weapon. When they arrived on the scene, witnesses led officers to the trunk of a car where they found Castro deceased in the fetal position with multiple stab wounds. Authorities located Martinez behind his house and took him into custody. According to the state attorney's office, at the time of his arrest, Martinez had numerous lacerations on his hands. Martinez hired Castro to drive him and 2 other people to a club in Washington, D.C. Castro also reportedly went into the club and then drove Martinez and the other individuals back to their house in White Plains, Maryland. While on the way home, the victim went to a gas station and asked for more money to fill his tank. Castro's car began overheating at the station, but he was still able to get everyone home. At the house, Castro's engine continued overheating, and he stayed outside to check his vehicle while Martinez went in the home, grabbed a knife from the kitchen. As Castro was leaned over examining that engine, Martinez began stabbing him repeatedly. Castro reportedly attempted to get away and went across the street. Martinez followed him and continued to stab him. In total, Martinez stabbed the victim 59 times and also knocked out some of his teeth. Jeez. Following that stabbing, Martinez placed Castro's body into the trunk and fled behind his house. During the investigation, Martinez confessed to killing the driver. Authorities also found the victim's glove on the defendant's hands, his sweatshirt, the victim's blood on the hands of the defendant, his sweatshirt, and the knife used in the stabbing.
Did it say why he killed him?
Yeah, because he asked for gas money. Extra gas
maybe
money.
He was asking like somebody at the gas station for gas.
So no, he
asked for a little extra gas.
He went in the house to collect the money to give the guy for the gas, and came out with a knife and knifed his ass up.
Again, what the fuck? I mean, nonstop killing.
Yep,
and over nothing. I mean. The last one was a stimulus check. This one was gas money. I don't know. Well, prisons and where these people belong. And y'all heard us talk about on Bloody Angola about gangs and white supremacists and stuff like that. Well, that's a real deal. You divide up with your own, and you join a clique, and for protection, survival, or whatever. Well. In Reno, Nevada, one of 3 inmates killed in a Nevada prison brawl this week, because prisons are bad places, was a member of a white supremacist gang who was serving a life sentence for his role in a murder at another Nevada prison. So he was down for something else. And what they do, I mean, they give you orders. You hit somebody or they're going to hit you, right? You got to make your bones. So he got a life for that, killing another motherfucker at another prison. And this time a brawl breaks out and he gets killed. So the local county sheriff identified Anthony Williams, 41, as the third of 3 people killed in Tuesday's fight in Nevada's maximum security prison in rural Ely. 9 other inmates were injured. The prison and state officials have released few details, and although the White Pine County Sheriff Scott Henrod confirmed Friday that all 3 men died of stab wounds or multiple sharp force injuries, shanks. This is an ongoing investigation, he said in a press conference. The other victims identified earlier were Connor Brown, 22. He was from South Lake Tahoe, California, and Zachariah Luz, 42, of Las Vegas. And Luz was identified as the street-level leader of the Aryan Warriors white supremacist prison gang. He and Williams were among 23 reputed members of the gang who were indicted in a sweeping racketeering case in Las Vegas involving murder and drug trafficking and identity theft in 2019. But now he be dead. He be dead. Look at this guy.
Yeah, he's
I mean, you're never going to get a job in real life. He's got, the tats all. He's bald headed. He's got the tats all over his head, including some white supremacist shit. I mean, and I guess he just did his time.
Yeah,
he let his time do him. So
maybe we can post the picture of him on Facebook so y'all can see him.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like a nice guy.
Really pretty.
Hey, y'all. Changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensuring my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now,
they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes, plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
All right, we're going to go to Carlsbad, New Mexico.
Hey, Carlsbad Caverns.
And a Carlsbad, New Mexico woman is facing charges over the death of her 14-year-old grandson, but she's looking to have evidence thrown out of the case after saying it was illegally seized. In 2021, 14-year-old Brent Sullivan was found in a Carlsbad shed unresponsive, and investigators determined he overdosed on fentanyl. Santa Fe police identified the suspect, and that was Kelly Smith and her daughter Alexis, who were selling the drug and were aware that Sullivan was stealing from their stash, police say. Kelly Smith is claiming investigators gathered evidence from their home without a search warrant. The state says pressing circumstances allowed officers to obtain evidence without that search warrant. The boy's mother, Alexis, was sentenced to 14 years behind bars last year, but she appealed that sentence. Kelly Smith's original trial was scheduled for last year, but a jury could not be seated at the time. She is now scheduled for a new trial on August 12th, and she's trying to get it all thrown out over a technicality.
Yeah, that's what they do. I mean, it happens. Again, the case I'm working on, the guy's in prison on an unrelated charge, but they're trying to get that charge thrown out basically on I mean, and it might happen. But I don't think it's going to happen in this case. Right?
Well, I don't, I would imagine that there are certain circumstances you don't have to have a warrant to search a home for.
Yeah.
Like a dead body inside the home.
Yeah, and that, especially if you see the window and shit, right?
Yeah,
but they're always going to challenge you. That's what they do. Montgomery, Alabama. It's Midnight in Montgomery. Remember that song?
That's a great song.
Right, great song. But man, we did report on this, but this is an update. Former corrections officer at an Alabama jail has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal charge in the death of a mentally ill man who died of hypothermia after being held naked in a concrete cell for 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Right? That's bad, bro. That's bad. But federal court records show that Joshua Connor Jones entered into a plea agreement with prosecutors regarding the treatment of 2 inmates at the Walker County Jail. Jones agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to deprive an inmate of their rights related to the 2023 death of Tony Mitchell. He also pleaded guilty to a separate rights deprivation count related to the assault of another inmate. The plea agreement indicated there were 5 co-conspirators, probably everybody that checked on these guys, in the mistreatment that led to Mitchell's death. There's an indication that the investigation is ongoing and more people could be charged in the death. Now, naturally, the defense lawyers do what they do, but the defense lawyer for Jones said he could not comment on the agreement. Court documents did not name the inmate who died, but Bauer confirmed the charge was related to Mitchell's 2023 death. Right? Bro's death. Bruh, 2, I mean, come on, man. I mean, they say you just fall asleep and all that shit. And
what'd he do?
I didn't even say it. They said he was mentally ill, so they lock him. I know what they did. They put him in an isolation cell. Look, some of those, that's the only ones, the old ones, one of the jails where I used to lock people up. There were 4 in the front right across from the booking room. They were cold as fuck. The rest of the whole place didn't have central air and heat. And they like the vents blowing right on that concrete bunk. And you get no blanket, they strip you naked.
Yeah.
That's bad. And you're a corrections officer.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, was he trying to kill himself, in
I'm sure
in the
I'm sure he
past
was.
or whatever?
Yeah. They put you on lockdown like that just because they don't have to fuck with you.
Yeah.
You act cutting up a general population, or you say you're going to kill yourself, put you on suicide, strip you of your shit. But you know what? You're supposed to have medical go see you at least once a day or twice a day or whatever when you're in those kind of situations. So probably a medical officer is going to catch a charge too, but certainly every correctional officer that was on duty is going to catch a charge. 2 weeks from the freeze to death, bro.
Jeez. Usually you
Nobody
hear from them,
deserves
you
to
got
die like that.
lawsuits
Oh, I'm sure that's going to happen.
now on heat. And Texas just made a big one for the Texas prisons. Of course, Angola has one going on right now. We're going to tell you about. But just nuts. Well, we're going to give you an according to the affidavit.
Oh, here we go.
And we're going to go to South Carolina for this one. This is just wild and domestic brawl that was touched off when one combatant was challenged as to why he didn't season the chicken the way it was supposed to be seasoned so that it would crust up. He had a problem with that. According to investigators, cops responded Sunday to a melee at a residence in Georgetown, a city 40 miles south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And cops say Anthony Harper, who was 27, was preparing chicken with his sister. Her name was Hope. She's 25. And another person started questioning him about the food seasoning. Anthony reportedly replied, "I know how to cook," and Grammy was going to season the chicken. In response, cops say Hope declared, "You're not human. You're a dumb dog."
What?
Yeah, you don't call nobody a dumb dog without expecting retribution.
Right. Especially with some chicken.
That's right. What followed was a violent kitchen incident between the siblings. During the scrum, two victims, including a third Harper sibling, were scratched on the arms. When the brawl progressed, a 26-year-old man exited the kitchen, and he fired a 9mm handgun into the ceiling to try to make assaultive behavior stop and force those involved to separate. So he was saying, y'all need to quit fighting when no one listened, and he just started busting caps in the air. The weapon, when it was discharged, however, did not have the desired effect. Hope grabbed a steak knife and chased her brother, who declared, "She's going to kill me." At this point, the pair's grandmother exited her room, broom in hand, and waved it at Hope until she walked away and put the knife back in the kitchen. With his sister now unarmed, Anthony grabbed a can of Raid and he sprayed Hope in the face and neck. Hope countered by seizing the bug killer and spraying Anthony across his whole body. The Harpers asked to press charges against each other. The scratched sibling, a 23-year-old woman, wanted Anthony arrested for leaving her with a visible injury to her arms. Anthony was charged with a pair of assault and battery charges, while his sister was busted on a single assault and battery rap. The Harpers each were released on bond, and the man who fired the warning shot, he was not charged, nor was the broom-wielding granny.
Bruh, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking Jerry Springer.
Bruh.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean,
was it fried chicken or just like regular baked chicken?
It must have been regular baked chicken because he was trying to make it crust up with the seasoning.
Yeah.
And he knew how Grammy cooked.
And Granny come out with the broom.
She come out with the broom.
The first time she come out with the broom.
Nope.
She heard a little gunfire in her lifetime before.
Yeah.
Knew the kids were up at it again. And then they spray each other
Shit
with
can
Raid
escalate
and everything
quick.
else. Oh, my God.
In that household.
Two brothers that I had that.
All of that, though, over chicken.
Well, that I had those two brothers in Menard's trailer park that the one was deaf mute, and he killed his brother because he came home from work and went to get his mayonnaise sandwich. His brother had eaten it.
Yep.
Crazy.
I remember that one.
Crispy chicken. By God, I know how to cook.
You gotta make that shit crust up.
You're a fan of mafia like I am, and there's all kinds of mafia. It's not just Italians, right? So James Whitey Bulger.
Mm-hmm. Irish mafia.
The Black Mass, great movie. Johnny Depp, right? So his history is long and storied, but there's something to tell you about it in case you don't know. But ultimately, he met his timely end, or untimely end.
Yep.
But an inmate was sentenced to more than 4 years Thursday for his role in the 2018 fatal bludgeoning of notorious Boston gangster James Whitey Bulger in a troubled West Virginia federal prison. Now, Massachusetts gangster Paul J. DiColorgero was sentenced in federal court after pleading guilty to an assault charge. He could have faced up to 10 years in prison. Now, he was already serving a 25-year sentence handed down in 2006 after he was convicted of buying heroin and used to try to kill a teenage girl. Prosecutors initially said that DiColorgero and inmate Freddie Fotios Geese used a lock attached to a belt to repeatedly hit the 89-year-old Bulger in the head hours after he arrived at the USP Hazelton from another lockup in Florida. But on Thursday, both prosecutors and the defense said DiColorgero only served as a lookout and had not physically assaulted Bulger. U.S. District Judge Thomas Klee said the sentence was fair and appropriate and strikes the balance the court is trying to seek. And DiColorgero, 50, declined to speak when given the opportunity to address the court. That's crazy, right? But it was back to Bulger. I mean, and the people that don't know, he came up in the 70s and 80s and was infamous Irish mobster. But the deal was he was working for the FBI and as an informant, and he kept ratting on the Italians and the other people, the Northeast and whatever. I think he was from South Boston. Mm-hmm. But when they had enough, and the FBI, the guy that was on the take, and everybody got arrested, Bulger hauled ass. He was on number one on the top 10 most wanted list for years and years and years. And
it was finally, like 30 years.
Yeah, I think it was a long fucking time. But they finally got him in Florida. He was in his condo. He wasn't living a flashy lifestyle, but they thought it was him, and they thought they confirmed it was him. And then they said, hey, so something happened in your parking spot, or maybe your car or whatever, and got him to come down. And that's when they got him. Yeah. And then they tore his apartment apart, and they found millions of dollars in cash hidden inside the wall. Mm-hmm.
And he had tube socks, tons of tube socks. And the cops asked him, they said, well, why do you have all these damn tube socks? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I get them at the dollar store, and you buy these 20 packs and they're really cheap. And they said, but you got $4 million in the wall. Yeah. And he said, hey, I got to make it last.
Right.
Look, this guy got away for like 30 years.
Yeah. And even when he was like big pimping and making all the money, had everybody on the take and everything else, they bought that Hialeah sports thing, which was big when I lived in Orlando. I don't even know if they still do it anymore. Kind of like an Indian racquetball or whatever. Yeah. But even when he was making all that money, he was staying at home like with his mama or something. He didn't want to spend any of that.
Yeah, he was tight.
He was tight. But tight as Dick's hat, man. As my dad
I'll
would say.
Tell you a quick story about him. Dana White, who is billionaire now, but owns the UFC. And way back in the day, he owned a boxing gym in Boston. And one day, he's in his boxing gym, and these two guys come by, and they're Whitey Bulger's guys, and they said, "Hey, look, man, you're gonna have to pay a tax. You can't have a business in Southie and not pay a tax. And whatever you take in, you pay us 10%. It's all good." And they wanted to see his books, and like the month before, Dana White made X amount, and they wanted a percentage of that, and he didn't have it. Yeah, and he told them, I don't have it. And they said, well, you got till tomorrow. We're coming back tomorrow. You better have our fucking money, right? Yeah. Well, that night, Dana White went home, packed his shit, and flew to Vegas. Right. That day. Right. Yeah. He said they were going to fucking kill me. Yeah. And he ended up hooking up with the Fertitta brothers, who he went to high school with. And then that's kind of how, through that road was how they ended up buying the UFC, because the Fertittas owned Las Vegas casinos. Yeah. And so they had money. Yeah. And long story, but yeah, he tried to shake down Dana White. Dana White got the hell out of town. The next day, he took a flight out.
And then I believe they would have killed him. I mean, Bulger killed so many people, but the whole time the FBI knew about it. Or his handler knew about it, and taking out whatever. I mean, he's just bad dude.
Yeah, they had a lot of informants like that. There's a lot of stories of mob guys, some New York mob guys that were actually informants and still killing people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Bulger was still, he was running everything. Yeah. He was taking out other people and killing them and until it got to be too much. And then how about that Ryan Loader? Winning his fight that night. Man. 3 rounds. Now, the thing was, I talked to him afterwards and he said, now he's supposed to be, or he is, an All-American wrestler. Mm-hmm. The other guy thought his whole fight was going to be try to take him down, and Ryan didn't even do it.
Yeah.
He stood up. He said, I'm going to give him all my game. And he stood up and went hands with him for 3 rounds and won. And then the semifinals are 3 rounds. The other fights were 2 rounds, and it would go to a sudden death, and now it's just 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And then if it's whatever, then they'll go to the extra round. But
did he talk about Valentina any? When you don't,
no, but I'm gonna
that's all I want to know.
I'm gonna get him on. I'm gonna get him on the show, and he's such a good dude, man. Such a good dude.
Yeah, he is, and very talented. Yes. And
I didn't realize he was in his 30s. He's like 32 or 33 something.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that
young,
either. Wow.
But so where they have the fights at now, or where the show's at now, that big complex UFC built outside of Vegas. He's actually been doing it for a long time, helping them with the coaching since COVID. And he said, so their final fight is going to be held there instead of pay-per-view, but you can get a ticket for like $17.50, but it's only like 200 people, and you get the red carpet treatment and all that.
Yeah.
But the 2 coaches are going to fight in September at the Big Spear.
Oh yeah, that's
2 women.
And that's the Sphere, y'all, is where U2 did a concert recently.
It's now the home of the Eagles.
Now the home of the Eagles, and it's actually it's a Sphere. It's exactly but there's never been, and there will never be again, another event like what the UFC is going to put on the Sphere, and they are bringing all the pain. Mm-hmm. They are going to have the best fights of the year at that event. Yeah. So for Valentina to be fighting at that. Again,
World Championship.
That alone is worth the ticket price.
She is ripped. I told Cindy I was watching Ryan
the
other night, and I said, how in the world did that black-headed girl, I can't remember her name, how does she beat her twice? Because the blonde looks, I wouldn't fight her. Yeah, I wouldn't fight her back in my day. I mean, she is
she got hands. She'd eat us both up at the same time, would he?
She practices with them. She fights with them. During practice.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, that's going to be an interesting fight. I mean, I'd have to put
some
money on her.
Yeah.
I don't know where she's
Jim, come here, Jim.
She got some good genes, I know that.
Yeah, she does. She has I think a twin sister, or really? I don't know if they're twins or they're just a couple years apart, but she's also nothing to play with. Like she will beat that ass too, but. Yep, big stuff for Ryan Loader, and we're super proud of him. And he's 32, so he's in his prime. Your prime for that type of fighting is usually between 32 and 36. You don't start to kind of fall off until after that. Right. So he's right at the perfect time.
And he started doing. I mean, he not only they told him he. Go learn a trade. You're never going to graduate from high school, blah, blah, blah. Mm. Now he graduated from college and got a master's. And but he said, this is just my time.
Yeah.
And he started helping them coach. Oh, so that's what I was going to tell you. He said he actually would rather fight that big fight at the same UFC complex because he's won 5 fights there, 2 now that were on the show, and 3 as a coach.
Yeah.
And he was a wrestling coach. So evidently have a coach for each different.
Right, each discipline.
Yeah, and good dude. But he tells it, and he said the other night on the show, he said, don't give up. If you're one of those kids like me, and everybody tells you can't do anything, and no matter how hard it gets, and just talk to somebody. If you need to, you can even call me.
Yeah.
But he told the whole world that.
Yeah.
He meant it. He was crying. And,
Yeah.
and it was a good
I remember.
And, all right. Well, Jimmy, I'm going to combine a Kinky Crimes and a Mile High. So if you want to play whichever is your selection for opening music, Mile High or Kinky Crime, you pick. Just play.
Kinky. I'm always going to pick Kinky.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Oh, yeah. This is a Mile High and the Kinky Crimes for
Perfect.
Thursday. All right. Let's go to Seattle. Just came down on August the 1st. 2 men accused of sexually assaulting passengers on airplanes in separate incidents during flights to Seattle were sentenced Thursday. And I bet you Jim covered these in the past. But the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Washington said in a statement that Abhin Kumar of India was sentenced Thursday to 15 months in prison. Now, Kumar 39, was convicted of abusive sexual contact following a 3-day trial in May. Kumar was arrested at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport on February 18th for groping the breast of a juvenile while she was trying to sleep on the Emirates flight from Dubai to Seattle, and this according to the court records. Now, Desmond Bostic of Federal Way, Washington, was sentenced Thursday to 9 months in prison for assault with intent to commit a felony. He pleaded guilty to the crime as part of a plea agreement in April and was served 3 years of supervised release following his time in prison. So while seated in the last row of the plane during a flight from San Diego on June 20th, 2023, Bostic repeatedly touched the thigh of a woman in the middle seat next to him, prosecutors said. He also grabbed her buttocks twice when she stood up to let a passenger in the window seat and exit and re-enter the row. After the plane landed, the woman reported Bostic's actions to the flight crew, and a federal grand jury returned an indictment in the case in September, and Bostic was located and arrested by the FBI on February 9th. Now, he admitted as part of the plea agreement that he touched a woman with sexual motivation, prosecutors said. And the Western District of Washington continues to see an increase in cases involving sexual assault aboard aircraft, and we have a zero-tolerance policy, the U.S. Attorney Tessa M. Gorman said in a statement. These cases demonstrate there are real consequences for this predatory behavior. It's weird to move from on flights to Seattle. Right? That's kind of crazy.
Maybe.
Man, I've been in Seattle. I mean, sounds good. You've been to Seattle, right?
I've been to Seattle. I took a cruise out of Seattle.
Maybe they just did the. I mean, one came from Dubai, another one they didn't say where he was flying to. But
yeah.
Motherfucker, I guess it must have worked for him at some point. I always say that. And that I mean, I guess if you do it.
Yeah, it's probably not his first time trying.
You do it 100 times and it works once, then you having a good day. But all those other people that didn't report it, come on, man. He admitted grabbing the titty and grabbing the butt.
I mean, happens all the time on them flights. From
nobody ever did. I mean, I flew all over the country and all over the world. Nobody ever sexually assaulted
me neither. No.
I'm not making fun.
Not that I'm wanting to get.
No, I was thinking about Mile High Club and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mile High Club. All right, that was a kinky and a Mile High.
That was a double whammy.
Double whammy, and we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Stay cool out there.
Yeah,
I'm probably cutting my grass today, and I'm gonna have to drink beer afterwards.
Right. Well,
that's a good comment. I don't do one without the other. Oh, and usually. I got a 3. I did it this past week too. 3 mixes. I don't cut grass without drinking beer and barbecuing. Right. And then by the time I'm barbecuing, I'm drinking the beer and I'm looking out of a pretty yard.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there you go.
And then so those are 3 things that I always will do in coming. And I'll go deer hunting. I never drink while I hunt.
Yeah.
But when I kill something and I'm cleaning it. That's probably why I got the brucellosis,
right?
Because I had lots of beers and was cleaning the hogs and cut my hand and on hog play. But I'm never going to take an animal and clean it without drinking a beer.
Yeah,
or watch LSU football.
Or watch LSU football.
Or lots of things. Or breathe.
Or breathe without drinking a beer.
Well, I wish I'd get us a beer sponsor. Just give us free beer.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, my wife drinks beer now. She never drank beer in 16 years together, and now she drinks beer.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of convenient.
Yeah.
And then she thinks she has to match me beer for beer, and that's mean.
Oh God. You gotta earn up to that.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you can't just jump in matching Woody beer for beer now. What are you crazy?
She knows I love her. All good stuff.
So, well, Wendy don't drink beer. She's a wine girl. And
really? She's never been a wine girl.
Wine and whiskey, believe it or not. Oh, yeah.
Really? She drink a
little bit of whiskey. A little bit of Buffalo Trace.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it. That's a headache in a bottle.
Yeah, man. I get headaches too with that.
You get a headache.
Yeah. It's good, but the after effects of it. What's the somebody out there I'm sure knows this, but what's the drink where they mix champagne
in orange juice.
In orange
Yeah,
juice.
that's mimosas.
Mimosas. Yeah, those are so good.
Mimosas, they are so good, but they usually served at brunch, right?
Yeah.
By 2:00, you're gonna have the worst fucking headache you ever had.
Yeah.
If you're Woody Overt.
If you,
And guess what? I can't
relate.
ever take Advil and shit again in my entire history of my life.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, remember I was in the hospital.
Yeah, I remember
you.
you-
Stuff going on. I had to go to emergency surgery for my stomach, and it was unrelated to what I was in because I'd been eating those
ate so much
Advils for so
Advil.
long.
Yeah.
And when I started throwing up blood, and they took me in the scope, I had 9 holes in my stomach. Doctor,
From the Advil.
shout out to the doctor who was lasering them up, and he actually called me. He's a cool dude. He's a huge lifer. And his people, I remember, as fucked up as I was, I remember being them preparing for her surgery that morning, and like 3 of his staff, including the anesthesiologists, were all lifers.
Really?
Like, yeah, you're Woody, and I'm like, you're wrong. And they're like, thank y'all for listening.
Yeah.
That had everyone
appreciate
in the
all
hospital,
y'all.
from the first person that drew blood to the doctors to whatever, which is all cool. And
Yeah.
I do love y'all, and thank you so much. And anyway, y'all enjoy yourselves.
That's it. And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman,
Woody Overton.
your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.